What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Teefishes channel. This is another episode of the Night Biter Show, where hosted by me. I'm just a guy that likes to fish and talk about fishing, so I figured why not do both. Today I had a plan to go outside of Marina Del Rey and target some big sand bass on some isolated boaters. And even though the weather apps and Instagram and online said it was going to be good tonight, it was not. This video we're going to talk about 5 ways you can become a better fisherman. And I'm not saying that I'm the greatest fisherman in the world, nowhere near that. I'm the guy, I make mistakes just like everybody else, but I've learned a lot along the way. I've done a lot of cool stuff. I've met a lot of cool people that told me some of the things I'm about to tell you today. I've also learned the hard way. And I guarantee you, if not one, but multiple of these tips you're guilty of. So I think it's going to be a good video. I'm going to go ahead and make a cast and see if we can get bit. And we'll talk about the current situation leading into tip number 1. So I wanted to go out today, and obviously I couldn't because of the weather conditions. The swell was really bad. The wind was really bad. I'm tucked away from the direction of the wind just so I can make this video. Tip number 1 is to be able to adapt. I was going to go for sand bass. We couldn't. So here I am fishing for spotties and smaller great sand bass. If we get bit, we get bit. If we don't, it is what it is. But being able to adapt, being able to not being frustrated, being able to not be stubborn, and, I'm not saying cut your losses, but just changing the direction of what you're doing that day could be huge. And I say this because I've fished with a lot of people and I've seen this, and I used to do this myself. Say I'm fishing a stretch of docks. Dude, after 10 docks, if you didn't get bit, don't continue fishing docks. The situation says they're not on docks. You know what I mean? Adjust fire, fish deep, fish, obviously you're flipping a dock, so it's kind of shallow, but maybe fish deeper. And if you are content with fishing that dock, maybe throw a bigger bait, maybe throw a smaller bait, maybe change it up. Adapting to your situation overall is going to effectively help you and allow you to catch way more fish in the long run. And I say that with the frustration part is don't be frustrated about it. If you're fishing and it's a tough day of fishing, take that in and be happy about it. On the toughest days of fishing is when I learn the most. There's a saying, it's called fishing, not catching, for a reason, right? And oftentimes people spend too much thought and ideas, or people are more concerned about catching fish than learning. And it's like, dude, we all learn from the beginning, right? Most of us started with like a bobber and split shot, maybe a Texas rig, a Carolina rig, something like that with a worm or some, cut bait, whatever it is. We started, I would say the majority of us started that way. And then as time progressed, we started to learn and try out new things and expand our arsenal and invest in our arsenal. But it gets to a point where we know enough in our mind that we kind of get complacent and we stop trying to get better as fishermen. We stop challenging ourselves. We just get stuck in our ways and we'll end up fishing 100 docks, maybe to catch 2 fish. But did you really learn anything? So adapting to situations is going to make you a better fisherman in a sense that you could potentially learn more. But how can you learn? That gets to tip number 2. Please ask yourself why. That's probably the best advice that I can give you when it comes to fishing. Just ask yourself why. Why am I not getting bit? And you can ask yourself these questions and then you can start figuring it out. I'm fishing rock. I'm fishing sand meeting rock. Not a single lick, right? I can keep on blind casting, but I know in this spot right now, I should at least got tapped. I love tap. And I also know that the conditions may say that they're not going to be here. So I'm going to turn around. How's my office chair look, by the way? So we're going to get bit on the sand. We're going to make a cast this way, and we're going to see if maybe they're on pillars. So I'm going to go ahead and make the cast. I am trying to adapt to the current situation. Adapting doesn't happen just one time. It happens multiple times. But the only way that you can adapt is if you start asking yourself why. In this case, I asked myself why I didn't get bit. And now it's my job to try to answer the question, Don't just blind cast. That's tip number 3. Don't blind cast. You ask yourself why. We're in a mood to adapt, right? Don't blind cast. Make every cast count. Make every cast matter. If you're just blind casting, you finally catch the fish of your lifetime, bro. It's gonna be in the back of your head that you knew it was luck. I swear to God, the story is much cooler when you have at least some type of thought process or idea as to why that fish bit. And you're adapting to situations, you've asked yourself why, you know what I mean? You're not being complacent to the point where you're not just casting, you're picking your cast. I was fishing sand to rock, now I'm fishing pillars, but I'm still primarily shallow. And if this doesn't work out in the next couple of casts, I don't get bit, well, guess what the next step is? To go deep, or maybe go to the opposing side of the harbor where the wind is actually hitting that portion of the harbor and the bait fish are in there. But I'm constantly already thinking of what I can do next. And I'm never just casting. Never blind cast. I hope that sticks because I see it so many times. People just cast and believe, which is cool. Adapting, asking yourself why, don't blind cast. Go to number 4. Is you got to start looking at the science. That goes, all these tips kind of go hand in hand, but I promise you, if you can just apply these to your life, you'd be more effective. Start looking at the science, guys. There's a thing called barometric pressure system. There's moon phase. There's water clarity, water depth, water temperature. What is the bait doing? What are they feeding on? The time of year. There's so many different variables in fishing. And at least having an understanding, something that you believe in, that's going to allow you to kind of put together patterns and theories. You're just overall applying logic. Again, you're adapting to the situation because you've asked yourself why, because you haven't made any blind casts, you've made casts that are effective, and then you understand the science behind fishing. I'll kind of touch a little bit more about science and why that's important. But long story up front, or long story short, okay, you tell me one professional fisherman that doesn't go into a tournament with some type of pattern, with some type of thought process that doesn't correspond with science, whether it could be weather, what can be tides, because if they're fishing a delta, whatever it may be, they're going, oh, water was clear, but if it's dirty today, if it's raining, is it, name one professional that doesn't look at that, in the science. You couldn't. That's the reason why they're professionals. That's the reason why a lot of them make a good living fishing for a living. The last tip I want to give you guys, and this is something that I struggled with too, is don't take this shit seriously. Fishing is supposed to be dope. Fishing is supposed to be fun. And I see a lot of people taking this serious for no reason. People go out and fish and get upset when they don't catch fish. People go out and feel the need to catch a big fish because they have this persona on social media that they only catch big fish. They're putting all this unnecessary pressure on themselves. Do not be that person. That sucks because that person, out of 1,000 of them that feel that way, in that category of people that feel that way, that unnecessary pressure, right? They resort to bad shit, which is like poaching, guys putting weights in walleye. We saw that one, right? You get guys bait hanging, you get guys snagging trout, you get guys fly lining elite, game fish to catch. You get all kind of things and that they do that they're not supposed to be doing just to catch fish because they took it more serious than it needed to be. Remember, when we started, most of us were a bobber, split shot, and hook, worm, Texas rig, Carolina rig, maybe some cut bait. But that's where the majority of us started. And when you caught your first couple of fish, how excited were you? Do you care that it was a giant fish? Did you care if it was small or not? Nah, bro, you were just stoked. Somewhere down the line, maybe a small fish wasn't cool enough. Why is a small fish not cool to some people? Man, dude, I'll tell you this right now. Posted I posted a reel on Instagram, and this dude messages me, and he's a dude that, you know, I thought I was cool with. I thought maybe he was just telling me like, he told me, why are you posting these small fish, dude? Nobody cares about small fish. I said, first off, player, like, I care. I had a great time. I caught like 6, 7 fish in a row on a spinning rod, and I was just happy to get out because my boat had problems, dude. I don't have to really explain myself to nobody, but I felt like I could be honest with him. He's like, dude, go catch big ones. Like, you can catch big ones. Why are you fucking with these small fish? Why are you even commenting? Like, why does it matter? You know? Why does it matter if it's a small fish or a big fish? Don't take it too serious, man. Enjoy every fish that you catch. You fun. And the second that you make it competitive for no reason, pretty bad, man. I'm gonna move spots because this guy's casting right out of my boat. All right. Well, I was pushing up to a new spot, and as you can see, it started raining, so it is what it is. I'm gonna review this footage. If I have more to say, then I'll go ahead and say it at home. If not, I'll catch you guys on the next video. Thank you guys for tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe, all that cool stuff. And most importantly, don't count your blessings, pass them. It's not about what you got, it's about what you can give. And I think if everybody gave just a little bit, whether it be just your time, this world would be a better place for all of us and for our kids in the future. I love you guys, appreciate you guys. See you next week.